So, what do you do when your entire species is on the brink of being wiped out? Today, we are going to drop into one single, high-stakes meeting and reconstruct, moment by moment, how the fate of an entire civilization gets decided. This is a look at an absolutely impossible choice.
Okay, let's set the scene. We are inside this massive amphitheater, and it's carved from what looks like living crystal. This is the Great Chamber, and it's here that 200 of the last Vornai leaders are together for the first time since their whole world started falling apart. And these aren't just politicians. They're the last survivors, and the tension in this room is just palpable. You feel like you could shatter it.
Now, get this. The chamber itself is alive. The crystalline walls are pulsing with this deep, angry red light. And that's not just for show, it's actually a biofeedback system. It's reflecting the collective emotion of everyone in the room. And right now, it is screaming anger, fear, and a whole lot of conflict.
In the middle of the room, there's this massive holographic display floating in the air, and it's laying out the brutal, undeniable facts. 20 colonies, completely silent. They're just grayed out on the map, gone. Another 15 are flickering, which means they're under attack right now and fading fast. And the enemy? Their position is just marked as spreading. This isn't a war, it's an extermination.
Then, an elder named Talrion stands up, and you can just feel the mix of fury and grief coming off of him. His words just cut right through the noise. He says he watched his own son's unit, 19 warriors, get transformed into glass in just 30 seconds. Think about that. This isn't some conventional weapon. This is something terrifyingly fast and absolute.
Right as the arguments are hitting a fever pitch, a new figure rises. Her name is Relia. And the second she's on her feet, the whole chamber just goes quiet. She's about to completely change how they all see this war.
I died 3 hours ago. That sentence just hangs in the air of that silent crystal chamber. Rahela was just resurrected, you see, so she's speaking from a place nobody else can. She has literally seen what comes after death.
Okay, so to really understand the sheer horror of what she says next, you need to know about the lattice. For the Vornai, it's this kind of shared consciousness where their souls go after they die. Rel tells them that when she was there, she looked for the billions of souls from all those lost colonies and found nothing. Just an empty void where an entire civilization's worth of souls should be.
And this is the gut punch. Someone assumes the Lost are just dead. But Rosal corrects them. No, they're not dead. They are gone. Consumed, she says, down to their very last thought. This enemy doesn't just kill you, it erases you from existence entirely.
Rella knows this because she experienced the beginning of it. The enemy weapon, it freezes your body, turning it to crystal. But that's just step one. As you're crystallizing, the weapon is literally extracting everything. Your consciousness, your memories, your soul. The crystal statue that's left behind, it's just an empty shell, proof that you've been totally consumed.
So how do you even begin to fight an enemy of perfect, unbeatable geometry? Well, Rella proposes something radical, a weapon that's born from a completely opposite philosophy.
She calls it the decoherence choir. The idea is brilliant, really. You don't fight perfection with more perfection. You fight it with its total opposite. This weapon doesn't shoot bullets or lasers. It projects pure, weaponized mathematical chaos. It's like a virus for their perfect structure.
This just reframes the whole conflict, doesn't it? It's not a war of armies anymore. It's a war of concepts. The enemy is coherence, perfect harmony, five-fold symmetry. The only hope the Vornai have is to become its opposite, pure chaos. They have to project irrational patterns, infectious asymmetry, things that their enemy's perfect, rigid structure literally cannot compute.
And then Rel shows them a simulation. It's one of the enemy's prism troops, a being of pure geometric perfection. And then it gets hit by the choir's wave of chaos. The result is just devastating. It doesn't explode in fire, it shatters into a million pieces, completely unable to hold its form against true randomness. And for the first time, you see a little flicker of hope in that red room.
But of course, a weapon that can unravel the fundamental math of reality itself, well, that's not going to come for free. When a researcher asks the obvious question, the council learns that this hope comes with a terrible, planet-shattering cost.
The calculation is just grim. Firing the decoherence choir one time will save them, but it will also critically damage their own planet. Firing it a second time? Impossible. It would literally tear their world to pieces. The verdict is clear. They get one shot. That's it. No do-overs.
And in this moment of just absolute crushing tension, the Council's AI, Vornab, blinks to life, completely oblivious to the mood. It excitedly announces that it's calculated the perfect moment to fire, right down to the nanosecond, and then it eagerly asks if they'd like to review all 73 scenarios it came up with.
Elder Taurion, the same man who was just shaking with rage, cuts the AI off with this perfect deadpan response. The best one. And for just a split second, a little ripple of laughter goes through the chamber. A brief, very human moment of finding humor right at the edge of the abyss.
So, the decision is made. Talran tells Redla she has 3 days to build this weapon. Her response? I only need 2. The clock is now officially ticking on the survival of an entire species.
The plan is in motion. The deadline is set. But as Rella turns to leave, she pauses. She delivers one final, chilling warning that's going to define whatever future they have left.
When the choir sings, prepare the world for what the silence reveals. What does that even mean? This weapon is supposed to shatter the enemy, to finally bring silence to the battlefield. So, what terrible truth is going to be revealed in that silence?
Riella gave her people a weapon. She gave them a plan, a sliver of hope where there was none. But those final words, they just hang in the air. It's a clear sign that this victory, if it comes, is going to uncover some other, darker truth. She's offered them survival, sure, but what's the hidden cost? The biggest question is still out there. What wasn't she telling them?